Let's talk about how things fit together. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell me why. No singing. Yeah. So, nature versus nurture. How does nature override nurture or nurture override nature? And have we reached a critical point where nature is about to be overtaken by nurture? What do I mean by nurture? First of all, nurture are the things that you learn when you grow up and grow old. You're born a certain way and your natural disposition is already set, but then when you learn things in life, you turn to something else. Now, in life today, as we speak right now, we've got things like direct energy attacks on us. Direct energy is when they project, well, exactly that, a direct energy in the form of microwaves. Radio waves can also be used, but I'll come to radio waves later. So let's talk about the microwave gun that they projected. Social engineering has many components right now, and direct energy attacks and remote neural monitoring. Those are just two of the most prominent and new techniques that they use on our minds right now. So direct energy attacks and how that can be used to nurture you. Well, it's a process called classical conditioning, I suppose. That's when you punish and reward. So when you want a habit to stop, you have to punish someone when they exhibit that habit. So let's say you like picking your nose and somebody has got you in a controlled environment, one of those, and then every time you scratch your nose like that, they zap you with a microwave gun to make you stop doing them once there. So that's what direct energy attacks are primarily used for. They're used for classical conditioning, things like that. Remote neural monitoring goes into operant conditioning, which is a new type of conditioning that they use right now. They monitor your mind. It also rewards and punishes you for things they don't like. But this means that there's people out there who's made up their mind that they want to see the world this way and they don't care what anybody else thinks about that. So remote neural monitoring is just a basically non-destructive monitoring where they monitor you from afar. Suppose with radio waves, we're talking about things like it can be done through your computers and phones, even your TV, even your power supply nowadays. Your power supply is capable of exhibiting and producing frequencies that can be used to track you and basically track your movements inside your home. So remote neural monitoring, when it comes to voice to skull, where they can actually connect to your mind, that's in its infancy and it's not as accurate as people think, because consciousness is very, very hard to map. You've got your 3D printers that can print out biological things. I've seen a video online where they printed out a liver and thing. Well, they had a substrate that was made of collagen or something, but they still can't make a liver from scratch from cells. So to make cells, you have to look at atoms and map those and then basically print them out as is. And that's so intensive, memory intensive and time intensive that it's not possible right now. They got quantum computing, which will make everything so simple, and remote neural monitoring, I suppose, will become viable. But we have to keep an eye on all these technologies as they develop, not because we want to abuse people, but we want to be aware of what's coming. Everything that the government knows, they will eventually, essentially, use on us when, well, they get annoyed. So, social engineering. Social engineering is done by many people. There's many people out there who participate in social engineering. Even the individual does a bit of social engineering. You think about it. Every time you look for a girlfriend, if you're a man, or if you're a woman, you look for a boyfriend. You try to social engineer them. Like that's why they have first, second, and third base and the home run. You kind of like show them a different light to make them think certain things, to project feeling and thought that you want them to abide by. So you project yourself as a man, as somebody who's a breadwinner, who's gonna look after her. And this is from nature. We exploit the way the natural being is rather than trying to change the natural being. So So there's nothing really much wrong with social engineering if it doesn't involve anything intrusive and you respect someone's boundaries. Because if I know that your nature as a woman is to look for a man who will look after you because you're gonna get pregnant at some point and you need somebody to look after you, because you can't walk around with a pregnant belly and expect to hunt deer and rabbit and other animals to catch to eat. You're gonna need a man to sit there and hunt that shit for you when your belly's full full of picnic. Yeah. So for us to exploit that and show you the finer side of human beings, the finer side of man, to show you that I'm the type of man that will look after your ass when you're pregnant, and that gets to your natural instinct, and I'm not tampering with you, I'm just going with what you are programmed to do. Yeah. Now nature also engineers, yeah, like I've just given you a prime example there. It engineered women to become people who look for a partner who's capable. Yeah. In terms of evolution, women are the ones who are responsible for the survival of the fittest mantra. Yeah. So rewind. Survival of the fittest is kind of like an emergent property. It comes from that's nature's way of social engineering. Yeah. In fact, evolution is a description, yeah, of nature's way of engineering. Yeah. It's natural engineering. Yeah. Now it has emerged because our consciousness have evolved to emerge it like that. Yeah. So my question, the first thing that prompted me to make this video was, how much of true love out there is nurtured or nature? Yeah. And what is true love? Yeah. Because if people use direct energy attacks to condition you, to turn you away from what you love, to direct you into something that you would not have chosen if they hadn't used that weapon on you, then when you fall in love and you don't know that that weapon is being used on you, would you call that true love? In your world, you believe it's true love if you're not sensitive to direct energy attacks. So it only becomes a problem once you're sensitive to it. Like in the original story in the Bible, the first two people on the planet never knew they was naked. It didn't become a problem until they saw their nakedness. Once they saw they were naked, that's when the concept of nakedness came into play. So once you know that these things are happening, then you have to be discerning. If you find yourself falling in love with someone, you have to actually re-examine the immediate period before that time and see if you have been conditioned to fall in love with that person. For me, natural love, yeah, is the only true love, because we've been conditioned by nature to fall in love with the people that we fall in love with, and this is to do with our genetic structure, yeah, and also our consciousness one, yeah, our conscious structure, yeah. So I think true love is going to be very, very hard to find once we realize the type of conditioning that takes place in this world, and many people see it as their business to dictate how other people fall in love and what other people do with their private parts. So that part of the human psyche is not something I think we should encourage, because that takes away from the freedoms of the individual. We should not be promoting people who see it as their business to dictate what another person does with their private life, because obviously people will start to feel like they don't have any privacy, and that will lead to a lot of mental illness, and that doesn't fix anything. So society is about, we're already glued together by the natural social engineering, yeah, by nature itself. Yeah, nature will always keep us together, but the privacy we create for ourselves allows us to feel free in our heads. Yeah. So in terms of what's going to happen to evolution, in terms of evolution with respect to man, that's probably something it's obviously evolution, the steps are so, the incremental steps are so small that it takes thousands of years for a big change to be noticed. But with the kind of technologies we've gone into nowadays, yeah, these changes can happen instantaneously, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's people who's gonna start making hybrid embryos and hybrid human beings, so any progeny that comes from those type of people will be beyond evolution, but it will be evolution if you think about philosophically. Yeah, so it'll be the next step, but it's consciousness that brought that. I'm gonna stop this video because basically I just wanted to point out that when you fall in love, be careful that you haven't been socially engineered to fall in love. If you've been naturally engineered to fall in love, that's in line with the Almighty. Yeah, but if you've been socially engineered to fall in love, just basically look at a relationship beyond love. Yeah, if you still need that relationship. But true love, I've experienced it. Yeah, and there's nothing like it. But unfortunately, many of you in this generation and the next one to come, you never have experienced true love. You'll be dealing with people that other people want you to be with. The only way to experience true love is to cheat. In the olden days, people used to fall in love with their mistress and marry their wife. So